is what is the concept, right? And what are we trying to do? So if we say zero hallucination AI, etc., people will not understand it. So we have to say in a very simplistic term, and we have to create one design element for it that represents that simplicity. Like for example, to be true, you without Sudarshana you cannot create robots, right? Because computer needs to understand the instruction. So you can introduce an element like that to say that you know reliable AI systems. We remove the word zero hallucination, etc., and say reliable, trustable AI systems need enforcing in silicon, okay, or something like that. I mean, you can get the refinement from our Dharam, and on what is the exact words that needs to go there in the refinement. But the first thing we need to enforce that is, if AI has to become meaningful, Sudarshana has to exist. Otherwise, making money from an AI system is impossible. Okay. Now that design element needs to come in the first slide in some form. Okay.
So we can show like a connection between robot and Sudarshan.
Sorry.
The element that you are speaking, right?
Correct.
Am I audible?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah,
Yes.
Rohan,
What I
you are
was saying
audible.
is,
Yeah.
uh, what I was saying is, we can show like some sort of a connection between robot and Sudarshan, and or can you tell us in this manner, how does Sudarshana help in robotics or in AI? Like in
See,
brief, like if you
like, see, if we have to make robots practical, no, they should understand natural language, like how we are understanding. Like now, current systems, if you take ChatGPT, Perplexity, they hallucinate so much actually. If you give something, it will give something else as answer. Now, if you put that same system into a robot, if you tell it to do something, it will do something else. Now, let us say it
mm,
is doing an important operation like surgery or something that can become catastrophic. So we need a framework to make computer understand these instructions properly, which is language. Without that, you can never build robots. And as of now, today only Sudarshana is the only framework that has shown how to do it actually.
okay.
So to match that up, this is all research evidence backed that over the last 5 years, investment of up to $10 trillion in AI has resulted in not even 0.1% coming back as revenue. So there are McKinsey reports on that, that AI is not working without the right compute layer. And as of today, the only compute layer that is working and showing the right thing is Sudarshana. And this is proven today. Now that needs to be encoded in one way. Probably you can optimize it also later into one design element. It should hit on, like, as soon as you see that, should give that relevance immediately.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
So the next thing we need to say that is, once this is achieved as a chip, there is a $33 trillion market that is awaiting to be captured. Okay, that includes electron. We will justify that later in terms of electronics, how much, application space, how much, what is the global trends. We will justify that later. But we need to, in the same first slide, say that this is a very important idea, very important solution that is addressing a very large market.
Mhm.
Okay, that is
Okay.
the second design element actually.
Uh, Arshita, your screen share went.
I'll just be back in 1 minute. I'll also get some
Yes,
paper.
you can go to the second slide.
Not able to get a second slide. some reason.
Just use your right arrow.
Okay.
Hello,
Yes.
hello.
Hello.
Rohan, is it audible?
Yes.
Okay, so did you get the first point, right? The same thing,
Yeah.
like hallucination, skill, trust, that needs to come in the first slide itself. Why? Because the attention span of the venture capital is all maximum 2 minutes, where they give maximum attention, and that usually goes away
Okay.
in the first slide itself. Okay.
Okay.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Yeah. I mean, Harshada. Yeah, you're audible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rohan?
Can you come to
Am I
the
audible, Harshada?
previous slide actually?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is the first thing. Second one, we need to say that there is a large addressable market. Okay. The total value of that is $33 trillion. That the total AI market through the chip and the applications can address. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
The third thing is this is backed by a novel IP. Novel IP means we have patents that can back this concept, and we have technology validations from IIT Madras, and we have got a business validation from IIM Lucknow. Okay, and the team has the capability to do the delivery to the global level. Okay, that these three elements we need to add it into the first slide.
Okay.
Okay,
Let's go to the second slide.
yeah, let's go to the next and second slide. Here, like for example, that hallucination skill trust is nice. Okay, and then we have added a description. Now here we have mentioned two boxes, what generic AI has and what the mission needs. Okay, here can we put a small animation that will show that in traditional AI, if it does something like a surgery, it will cause a lot of problems. Now when it's done by Sudarshana, it will lead to clear and better surgery by the robot. Okay, you can use that, or you can use the case of driving. Okay, self-driving car, where if Sudarshana drives the car, it can perform the driving without accidents. Okay, so why we are talking about this is these people, when we call investors, they don't like text at all. Okay, they don't want to see the text. They like numbers and something that can help them visualize how it will work. Okay, here in this slide, any of the application, whether it is healthcare or defense or this one small slide. Hello.
Yeah, we're listening.
I think can we go to the next
Hello.
slide?
Next one. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's come to the next slide 3. Okay, here we have, here I'll give the name of a benchmark. It's called ML-Perf. Okay, it is evaluated against ML-Perf, and it is showing all these following. I'll give few more benchmark numbers. Okay, Rohan, like here you put only 20% x lower power. Okay, and let us remove this data modeling inference verification gate deterministic output. They will not understand that at all. So let us remove that 4 steps there. Okay, or even if we put those things, we'll give numbers that attached to that. Okay, what in data modeling, what better inferencing, I'll share you those numbers. We'll have to attach that model to some numbers. Okay, and we should give a numerical based design where if it is showing higher number, that element should be bigger or smaller, like that. It should show the quantification of those numbers and the importance of it. Okay, I will share the benchmarks of that, of the slide 3. Okay, backed by India's deep tech institutions. Okay, validation is there, technology validation, business and ATM validation. Okay, okay, okay. I think this slide is good. No problem. You can go to the next slide. Okay, this we have to expand. Okay, proven traction, and this one. Okay, here we'll have to add 2 animations, small ones, Rohan, where in the satellite payload we should demonstrate something like a detection of enemy coming across the border. Okay, detection of enemy coming across the border, and we should say that two signed pilots, 15 lakh 10 million units. In that first sector, we should say we are addressing a market of $40 million. Okay, and in the healthcare, we are targeting a market of $2.1 billion. Okay, I'll share you those numbers also later. Okay, we need to have those minor, what do we say, those design elements which say that this is what it does in this individual, and whatever we are adding numbers, right, the higher numbers should be of bigger significance, and the numbers which are small should be like aligned accordingly. Okay, and the description of the this one of the team also we will share. Okay, why we are the, it should come out that why we are the right team to execute it. One second, can you go back to the previous? Okay, and we will also give you the university names, so we need to add those things to the founders credential. Like I am from NUS, National University, we need to add that logo there actually. Similarly, I'll share Chirag's also. You can add that also into the this one. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go to the next. And if you can come back to the previous slide, you can remove that zero inference tag. This one here. Yeah. Let this be purely for this one. Yeah. That's not adding any value there. Yeah. Let's go to the next slide. So here we have to say validated by ISR. This slide is good. Okay, we can go to the next one.
I stopped sharing.
Okay.
And few of these elements that you have put, right, they are all AI generated. So they are not giving that true look actually. Just remove the AI nature from, like for example, this image, right? It is, I think this is AI generated.
And yes.
Hello.
Yeah, this is AI generated.
Yeah, I think just all the things that are AI generated, right? We need to make it human. It should be looking like human has done this. Definitely not. If you want to use humanify, it's fine. But AI content should be like not AI content. It will destroy the whole feel of the presentation. You can use any tools that can make it look like human, for example. Okay, in this
Sure.
primarily, right, this number what we are calling of $25 billion total addressable market, that needs to be highlighted. Okay, that needs to come as a design element also. And here also you can add an animation and like how a person can wear a smartwatch and it does both diagnosis as well as treatment. Okay, this device that you have used, right, it can be made more relevant to the kind of device that we want to do, which will be like a smartwatch that does both diagnosis and treatment also. Okay, and that number what we are talking about, right, 2.5 billion dollar total addressable market, that needs to be amplified, that we are addressing that, and we need to say over the next 18 months, over the next 36 months.
Hello. Ashita, am I audible?
Yes, Rohan.
Yeah, so is this presentation also AI
Yes.
generated?
No, presentation is not AI generated. Only images are AI generated.
Okay, okay, then what we can do is just the images and animation, please make it as some, you can remove the AI generation part of it, and that would be better.
Yeah.
And this image can be made to the
So,
smartwatch. I'll share the image of the smartwatch also that we have developed. It can, the animation can be made similar to that, but a little on how it works, like that kind of thing.
do we have
Okay,
any photographs of the of your previous of your works or anything like that that we can
we have the
use?
device photographs. We'll share it with you actually. It will help you to
We can
visualize like
use
how
that
this.
as is, right?
It's not so good, that image actually. You can probably feed it to an AI system, make it better, and use it also.
Sure.
We have just like shot a photograph of it.
Okay.
Like there we have fewer false positives. Like we need to make it zero false positives. Not regulatory friendly, regulatory aligned, and hardware rooted guarantees. That's
Yeah.
good. Okay, no problem. Hospital edge servers, portable diagnostic devices. That is definitely good. We can just focus on portable diagnostic devices for now. We'll come to radiology, pathology, and all. You can remove that section. You can elaborate on portable diagnostics devices itself and make the total addressable market around $2.1 billion. But that number $2.1 billion must look big. Like if you come to the previous slide, for example, Rohan, here look
Yes.
at that size of that 40 million, this one.
Yeah.
If 40 million itself is so good, then 2.1 billion should be much bigger, like that. Because it's all a numbers game. Okay? So they need to see the numbers that we are targeting. And the size of that number, especially in font, should be a direct correlation to that number value itself. Like for example, if you see in this one, right, the first focus is diagnostic doctors can trust. That is what we like, but not what the venture capitalist like. For him, the first thing is number itself. So that should have the biggest font. And probably a little, you can manipulate with the color also so that his attention goes immediately to that number there. Okay. Then the next thing that he will see is the visualization of how it will come. Okay. he is not interested much in what how doctors will trust this device and all. That he will anyway leave it to IIT Madras to validate. He is just interested that what is going to happen in the next 18 or 24 months. Okay. So that should be the design element that we are focusing.
Screen sharer. Yeah.
Yeah. So even like if we come to the previous slide, I think that slide on that satellites, right? That's very good. Like, on one side is the product, that's also very big.
Yeah.
On the right side, right? The satellites constellation is there. The market size is very big.
I'll
After they
bring
see
that.
that, they
I'll
see that
post that.
they're going to put satellites to run the stack like that.
Yes.
Okay. So okay, this slide we'll have to okay has eight. So there you have the numbers, right? 8 years, for example. They're looking $2.1 trillion, but when okay, so that 8 years also should be highlighted. Now on the right side we have a picture that is not in correlation to the what we are talking about. No, you will have to construct a new picture that makes what do we say? That makes sense to what we are trying to talk
Relatable.
about in this. Probably you can make this something related to the connected markets and how the chip addresses that $2.1 trillion. Okay, and we have numbers here, right? 32 verticals, 2000. All of that needs to have elevation. Like that is the most important thing. Here we have a lot of text, for example. Nobody reads that, and this wording also critical infrastructure. Just that is enough. Mission critical infrastructure, something like that. Okay. And this text that we have across verticals, they will not read that number 32 verticals, 2,500 plus use cases, 20 or $2.1 trillion addressed over 8 years with a growth rate of 12%. Those numbers only needs to be highlighted. And that element that you have on the right should be a correlation to the market here. So this right side that we have this network, you can convert that into a market kind of element.
Okay.
And just show that that market is growing, that kind of visualization. Okay, so from pilot
Yeah,
to
just
orbit. Yeah, and we will rework this whole thing. Okay? Like for example, this timeline, for example, it looks like a very basic timeline. So what we need is like a timeline that talks about months in the bottom and how this flows along that months. Okay. For example, here we have 18-month roadmap. You will not know when which is committing, right? So, for example, split it into 6 months, three things, but the timeline should show the timeline. And even that elements that we have, right? Satellite, rocket, and this one, that needs to be highlighted, that chip one. So that from that element itself, they can figure out what we are trying to do. So our objective is to minimize the focus on text and more only on the design elements. But the design element should have the same thing that the text talks about. Okay. And this timeline, for example, visualization, we will change it according to a numerical time. Okay. Can we go to the next slide, bro?
Yeah.
Okay. No, we will remove the slide. Okay. So we will probably, no, it's not required. We will remove the slide completely.
Okay.
Okay. And
This also I feel
this one
35
also
we have to
same.
highlight it.
Yeah. For the first fund, the first launches and silicon, please make the ask at 45 CR at uh, or $4.5 million at pre-seed round.
Yeah.
Okay. And this right thing, these four elements that we have, what we are going to do, please that also you model on the elements only, like satellite build and launch, a design element that represents it. chip design and launch, one element, and this one certification and validation, team and partnership. So that the text focus is reduced and so. Okay. Or even if you could compress it into a timeline on the right side and make it just 4 steps, simple 4 words, that is enough. Okay, and
I feel
we
the
need to highlight
titles
that
are more
number.
than sufficient.
Sorry.
I feel the titles are enough to showcase.
Yeah, you're right. So the titles itself and the numbers, right? That is all that is looked on. And as of now, since we don't have many devices that represent how it works, they look up to some
Yeah.
animations to see visualization on how it comes up. And
Yes.
Rohan, their attention span is very low. Okay, although they will be with us for half an hour, 1 hour, that first 2 minutes only, and as soon as they see the first slide and that elements, they should know the complete roadmap like that over the next
Correct.
18 months
Yeah.
and why they need to
Yes.
invest. The rest of it is all details only, like numbers, etc.,
Yeah.
idea, etc. So that is how we need to design this whole uh, pitch deck.
Done.
Okay, especially this number is there, right? 34 or 45 crores, what you're saying,
Yes.
that needs to be split into those segments here. Okay, I'll give you those splits
Yeah.
also later. For now, you put it temporarily, some split on how much for this, how much for this, how much for this, how much for this. That needs to be there.
Mm. Sure.
Okay,
Okay.
and that 35
Done.
or 3 part,
Yes.
that needs to be in a bigger font.
Yes.
Okay, and that last slide also
Pretty
please
much
remove.
clear. I will start off.
Yeah, if you come to the last slide, thank you, right? Thank you is enough. Okay, this okay, fine. Because founder and co-founder name is already there in the team section. We can remove that. Only web and email. Yeah, that is enough. Hello. Hi, Harshita. Is it clear?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. You can work on it, and like I think if once you have some feedback, you can share it with us also, and
Okay.
like we can take up like refining this to this. The idea is like they should be able to grasp it without our need to pitch also, and only those elements that we are talking about, that itself should contain enough information without text that they can understand it. And
Okay.
like especially when we are talking about use cases, a small animation that shows how it works in defense and a small animation on how it works in healthcare, that is enough.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much. You can pass this by Dharam also. I think he will be able to optimize it much better
Yeah.
than what I am saying to. He'll give you more refinement ideas on top of what I have said. That can be the final design elements.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.